Hi guys and hi Dylan. Welcome to the fourth episode of Dreamers and Doers, where I interview people who, at least according to me, will shape the happy, healthy, peaceful world of tomorrow. So thanks for being here, Dylan.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So Dylan is an Ayurvedic practitioner. And well, I'll let you define what Ayurvedic is.
Sure.
It'll be more safe.
Okay. Ayurveda is a Sanskrit word. It's derived from two roots. Ayur means life and Veda means science or knowledge. So Ayurveda is the science of life. Such a broad and holistic science.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it mainly focuses on the medicine. So it's traditional medicine. They call it the mother of all medicines because it's a medicine that's as early as nature.
Okay.
It came with the nature, so it's infinitely years old, and it's about how to live in tune with nature. And then when you living in tune nature also means living in tune with your own personal nature, with your own human nature, and that's where perfect health lies. So it's about enlivening people's perfect health within people and bringing them back to their natural state.
Okay. And when I research it, it's often associated with, let's say, Indian science and medicine. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I mean, people mistakenly call it traditional Indian medicine, but it's really universal medicine. It's really all around the world, and especially Greek adopted the Ayurvedic ways a lot. But yeah, it's strong in India. That's because of the food aspect has kept it there, and also India is the land of the Veda. So a lot of these moments in the Vedic history and mythology happened in India. So significant moments, and that's why it's kept there in a strong way.
Okay, thanks. Thanks Arthur for liking. And by the way, just to be sure, you can hear us well, guys, right? Like if one of you can say, yeah, we can hear well, just to make sure it's all good. So can you hear well, guys? Just to make sure. You just type yes or something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't put the comment. Okay, sounds good. Okay, there's one question I had, which was, so you grew up here in Australia, in Bondi Beach. How did you become an Ayurvedic practitioner?
Oh, basically, I was in the middle of studying architecture in university, and I was in India doing Ayurvedic treatment myself, just as a general preventative, and I learnt about the Vedic notion of Dharma. Dharma means what is your personal role in the evolution of things right now? What is the most evolutionary thing you can do right now?
Is it like a purpose?
Yeah, you can say purpose in life. Yeah, but it's right now. People mistake it for career or like this, but it's your dharma might be right now is to rest and not work because you need, that's the most evolutionary thing you can do. And I wasn't loving architecture, so. And when I read about Dharma and I learned about it, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not going back to architecture. I said to the doctors at the clinic, who not only are your medical doctor, but they're your spiritual guide, they guide you in life. And I told them this situation I was in. And they said, come study Ayurveda with us. And I just didn't think about it, I just did it. So that's how I started.
And what did you like about it?
About what? About
Ayurveda compared, for example, to our Western medicine?
The reason I kind of started studying it is because when I was at that clinic, I saw so many miraculous healings, and I saw remarkable healings and profound things which Western medicine will look at and can't explain or can't fathom.
Okay, so, do you have an example?
Oh, I can give you an extreme example. There's a famous treatment that my teachers give, only they give. It's called the banana treatment. They're actually giving it in Sydney next weekend. And there's a syndrome called MRKH syndrome. It's about 1 in 5,000 women are born with no reproductive organs. They're born with no fallopian tubes, no uterus, no they can have, but they're born with none. No vagina. They're not born with it. And Ayurveda says cellular memory, organs, your, you know, your true being has the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So my teachers do this special treatment for females once a month. They give her medicine, and basically she started growing her reproductive organs back.
Okay.
And you know, this MRKH syndrome, usual medicine, is known as you're born with no reproductive organs, you can't have babies, that's it. But in fact, there's 14 cases at my teacher's clinic where women have grown back their reproductive organs after being born. So that's one amazing.
And it can sound a bit ironical, but it seems like with Ayurveda there are a lot of things that Western medicine can't explain, and they slowly go to the conclusion of things that were written in books 1,000 years ago, right? Like, especially there was that example of the Nobel Prize of Medicine.
Well, basically, a lot of the ancient science, the ancient wisdom, is now being recognized by modern science and proving the science is proving the ancient wisdom.
Same with meditation that uses fMRI scanners or like studies on neuroscience to prove that it actually works.
Yeah, there's so many things like, if you heard of leech treatment, bloodletting with leeches, you know, that's one of the 5 most strong treatments in Ayurveda. It's one of the panchakarmas, and now they use it in hospitals. At least 30 hospitals alone in New South Wales are using leeches in their hospitals to heal the body because they can't find a better way to bring blood back to the area. And Europe, they're doing it a lot. So they're recognizing and slowly.
And how much do you think we can or should use any like medicine in the Western term? Like, for example, if you're sick and your doctor says you need antibiotic to fight the disease, do you think it's sometimes a good idea? Or
it is definitely required sometimes, mainly for the emergencies, and also if you're going to introduce it into general health, use it as a last resort. So, you know, if you get the cold, you don't need to go on antibiotics or Western medicine. Or if you get a headache, you don't need to take painkillers. You know, go with the natural things, because the natural things, especially the Ayurvedic medicines, which are whole herbs, they make your body do the work, make your body do the healing. So, you know, if it starts getting to a chronic stage, you know, then you can start using the Western medicine in a tactical way, not to get habituated to it. But generally, the Western medicine should be the last resort. It shouldn't be your first resort, especially with surgeries and things. You know, people getting surgeries like that. But definitely, you don't want to get organs removed or, you know, tissue removed out the body without first making your body naturally do the job of healing.
And thanks. And to go back to more the general principles of Ayurveda, are there like, if you look at sleep, nutrition, or this, what would be kind of the tips or the rules or the principles of Ayurveda, like maybe simple ones that we can implement in our everyday life?
Well, yeah, I mean, you just mentioned like one of the pillars of life is sleep, eat, water. So, you know, as I said, Ayurveda is about living in tune with nature. So get sleep right. That's your main biorhythm. Ayurveda says to sleep before 10 p.m. Because it's about sleeping with the elements. So at night, 10 p.m. is the earth element, 6 till 10. So you want to go to sleep with that. So going to sleep before 10 p.m. is a big one. And waking up with the sun. That's naturally going to align you with nature. And now this Nobel Prize has said circadian rhythms, circadian medicine. That's what the Nobel Prize last year was won for, which means live in tune with nature's cycles, which means wake up with the sun, because this morning sunlight stimulates the pineal gland to secrete the right hormones, you know, helps the thyroid. So Ayurveda said this a long time ago, is wake up with the sun. You definitely get that energy. And, you know, sleep is a big one. You need to sleep before 10 o'clock, undisturbed, with no electromagnetic fields from wireless devices. You know, don't have your phone in your room, don't have your Wi-Fi router on, turn it off, because sleep is your main time for your brain to rejuvenate and your lymphatic system to drain, your body to detox, and your hormones to regulate. So much happens when we sleep, and we need to get that right. People with health problems, with hormonal problems, women with menstrual issues, hormonal issues, you got to get your sleep right. It's your main biorhythm. That will regulate so much. It's not about how long you sleep, how many hours. It's about when you're sleeping.
Okay.
So get to sleep before 10 a.m. Wake up with the sun naturally. Sorry, 10 p.m. Wake up with the sun naturally. Sleep in a non-invaded zone. So remove the phones, the Wi-Fi.
And so you're talking about the phone, the Wi-Fi. So is that something that worries you?
Yeah, definitely. It's a big epidemic right now. Yeah. It's called electromagnetic fields, EMF, and they're very, it's frequencies from wireless devices like phones, computers, Wi-Fi, smart TV, of course, other external others, and people's apartments.
And so then I have two questions on this. The first one would be, well, if there are like studies that show it, and the second would be, what can we do about it? Because about like the
so I mean, you can start and even drastic steps, and if you're sick with chronic disease, because these EMFs really influence chronic disease. They're very biologically active, these frequencies. We're very ignorant and arrogant. We don't think it affects us because we can't see them, right? And you can't really feel them. Some people are hypersensitive and they can feel it, but generally you can't. You need some infrared goggles, or you need the devices to measure them. But they're very biologically active, and there are studies which show or links it to autism. Autism as one of the epidemics of today. There was 1 in 10,000 children were autistic in 1940. Now 1 in 34 children are autistic. And there's studies which show womb, when the mother was exposed to EMF, it increased the autism. And because whatever you're feeling outside the womb is going to increase 20-fold in the womb. So if you've got 2 gigahertz outside your womb, it's going to be 40 gigahertz in. So definitely can help.
And are there studies you can look up for this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the studies off the top of my head, but if you go to research Mercola.com, he will reference, or research Dr. Klinghardt. He's done a lot of work on this, especially linking to autism, and it causes something called calcium efflux, so excess free radicals causing chronic disease. But things we can do to protect it. Okay, here's the simplest things. As I mentioned, turn your Wi-Fi off at night. You're not using it, turn it off. And turn your phone on airplane mode. Another thing is, when you're walking, don't have your phone have it on airplane mode. Don't keep your phone next to you. Don't have your laptop on your lap.
To be fair, even on top of the health danger, just having your phone more in plane mode in general.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. And just stay away from it, because it's really the distance you're from it. So even when you're sitting at having a coffee with friends, put it on the table. Or put it on airplane mode. Or don't keep it in your body. And there's other stuff like doing a lot. They're putting different insulation on their walls, and this is a more extreme step.
Nutrition too. And I'd be interested from the Ayurvedic point of view, what would be a good nutrition?
Basically, it's simple. It's live in tune with nature, live in tune with the seasons. So eat seasonally, eat fresh foods, not packaged foods. Don't eat raw foods.
Why?
Because we have this thing in our stomach, we call it Agni. It means fire, metabolic fire, or digestive fire. And we want to not make it work so hard. We want to make everything more compatible and nourishing to it, easy to digest. If we're ingesting raw foods, it's making our fire work more. Why make the internal fire do the work? Let the external fire do the cooking. Then it will nourish and feed you with nutrients and energy. If it's hard to digest, which most people have poor digestion, 95% of people can't digest well, then it's going to turn to toxins. It's not going to give you nutrients. It's going to turn to undigested food material and vitiate weak parts of the body. Any channel, it will clog. So cooked food, fresh food, seasonal food. Don't think about this grain, that nut, this fruit. Don't think about superfoods. just eat whatever's in season and what's local. That's what nature's providing what you need now. So it's a simple principle.
And no supplements?
Supplements definitely there.
Yeah.
But in Ayurveda, we use herbs.
Okay.
And it's whole herbs rather than extracts.
Okay.
It's the whole plant. So you're getting the whole intelligence. You're getting the whole microbiome. You know, let's look at, ingredient turmeric.
Yeah. I actually do a brain compound with curcumin.
BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, builds brain cells.
Okay.
But why take curcumin? Take turmeric. It's the whole plant. You're getting the whole.
But you have to eat a lot of turmeric, right?
You can have 2-3 grams of powder. Have it in your food.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a study, and there's doctors who think colon cancer in India is very low. It's one of the best rates of colon cancer. People think it's because they're eating turmeric 2 to 3 grams a day for all this time. And have it in the food.
And I'd say there's one thing. So at some point I was eating only like kind of real food, clean food. And I had that discussion with a friend who takes a lot of, which I felt was a fair point. So I was taking only clean food because I thought, well, our body is designed to eat what nature wants to eat. So we shouldn't need supplements. But it's true that our soils, for example, are not what they used to be. There's been intense agriculture, industrial agriculture. So if I eat an apple now, it's not the same apple as when we were hunter-gatherers. So his point was, which I thought was fair, was like, well, yeah, but you can't do that anyway today, eating as was designed by nature. So you have to take those supplements to get the nutrients you need, which kind of convinced me.
I wouldn't say we can't do that. I would say there's still ways to find wild foods, and definitely, obviously they're not as rich in minerals, but you can still definitely forage, and there's good organic food out there where it's full of microbes. But it's a good point. You know, you need to look at the minerals that they're taking in, and that's again where the herbs will play a role. I'd rather feed herbs rather than extract. Scientific extract. Those herbs have those minerals, and it's other ways, not just by food. You can feed that with the sun. Like the sun hasn't changed much. It's not, it's you're still getting the same vitamin D from that, and calcium from the sun, and salt water, you get negative ions, so many things. Oil massage in Ayurveda, that's feeding the microbes of the skin. Oils of so it's not just food. But you can take, but I prefer to get from food. So get from superfoods, you can call them, which has higher vitamin content or something, rather than a concentrated version.
Okay. I'll ask you another question, but in the meantime, I'll tell people if you have questions, you can ask them in 5 minutes. So I'll type, you can ask in 5 minutes, and we'll see if there are some. And my question now would be on Ayurveda, so about the fact that it was a bit more recognized now. I think there could be, let's say, some kind of match between, do you think there would be some kind of match between Ayurveda and they might converge, or if you and how
it's still got a lot to go, but it's definitely growing in the West. And in India, it's like being they do a medical degree the same as a doctor. It's a 6-7 year university degree, and they're like doctors. You see an Ayurvedic doctor like that. So it's growing here. It's still got a long way to go, and it depends on studies. Ayurveda needs more studies to show things, but then again, the studies aren't completely reliable, because then again, you can studies to show both sides of the argument. So it's got some time to go, but it's more the people that come from the government system. It's the public they are more wanting natural medicine, and they're wanting to be heard. They don't just want a script and not listened to by a doctor. They want to get to the root of their problem. That's what's going to increase, and that's what's going to increase things like Ayurveda to be recognized, and
what we're doing now, for example.
Yeah, and then people implementing it and seeing a good practitioner or doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, and then feeling good from it.
And also, what's the is there an importance of meditation in Ayurveda? Is it like part of?
It's a part of the Veda. The Veda is that body of knowledge which encompasses really everything. It's where yoga, meditation comes from. Ayurveda comes from.
Okay.
There's Apacha Veda, which is Vedic architecture, so like Vedic feng shui. So it's linked to the Veda. Ayurveda does say, it is important, but it doesn't really talk much about it. It's more science-based Ayurveda, and it's more on the body. But definitely, meditation is an essential part of the daily routine. It should be like sleep and eating. Every day you have to bring your mind to that calm state of being. Definitely. So, it should be integrated into everyone's daily routine. It's one of the most, especially if you have an effective meditation practice, such as Vedic meditation. It is one of the most evolutionary things you can do. And personally, as a practitioner, if someone's meditating, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not meditating and they come to me, I'll give them herbs, diet, lifestyle, maybe treatments. But the thing that's going to help them the most probably, is meditation.
Okay. And do you do Vedic meditation?
Yeah. That is what I recommend. Vedic meditation or transcendental meditation. Both good.
I had a question on grounding too. I remember, guys, if you want to ask questions, don't hesitate. Mine's on grounding because I've heard a few people talking to me about the grounding phenomenon, kind of. So is there like science behind it, and should we be more barefoot?
Yeah, this is very funny. So this is, again, goes alongside the most recent Nobel Prize was won for circadian rhythms. So we're right now so out of tune with the nature that we are going back to all these simple practices, like they're prescribing going to sleep with the sun and waking with the sun and grounding your feet on natural earth, and not even natural earth. They're designing now grounding mats. They're making artificial mats which give ions such as the earth. So this is for people who live in like Paris or New York City, where they don't get the chance to put their feet on the earth. So I think it's this ground mats. They're saying, well, this is how we get on earth. So definitely it's helpful, and definitely people should be doing it, especially when you're in an environment like an office or a university where there's so much EMF. You need to neutralize. And if you can ground in like the beach with your feet in that salt water, that's really going to have a more profound effect. So, and it's one thing in Ayurveda to put your feet on the green grass in the early morning, where the morning dew, that cools the body down. If someone has excess skin inflammation or menopause or excess heat in the body, put your bare feet on the green grass in the early morning when the dew's there. That cools you down.
And what's the science?
It gives you negative ions.
So
it changes on the molecular biology level.
And so we talked a bit about nutrition, meditation, sleep. Are there grounding, the sun? Are there other main tips from the Ayurvedic?
I mean, there's so many things, but
we could implement in our everyday life.
Yeah, well, one I'll say is like a self-massage is one of the daily routine things you can do. And, for those who moisturize their bodies, instead of moisturizing your body, why don't you anoint your body with oil and give yourself a massage? And you can go on my website and type in self-massage, and you learn to give yourself a massage. Better, that's like, we shower. One of the things is the bath. Have a shower every day, bath. And as well as that, you also got to anoint your body with oil and move the blood, move the lymph, calm your nervous system. When you put oil on your skin, your skin has more nerve receptors than anything. So it's going to calm you down. And it's like having a bath. You've got to do it every day. So that's a very powerful thing. And that's also very good to protect you from EMF. and protect you from maybe energies, toxic relationships. It's like a layer of armor.
Okay.
So that's one thing people can do and should get into. As I say, go to my website, type in self-massage and download your free poster and learn how to do the self-massage with any oil, sesame oil, coconut oil, or a medicated oil.
Okay.
That's one thing. There's so many things. One, you can, as I said, wake up with the sun, wake up and do the massage and just all those things.
Pretty simple things.
That's one thing. Yeah, I mean,
implement every day.
Yeah, and if you have, I'll say another one. Like you can also do it before bed, the massage, especially if they're having sleep issues.
Okay.
Give yourself a massage before bed and then have a shower and go to sleep. Or just do the quick version. Put a bit of oil on the head and then massage your feet. Then go to sleep. You'll sleep like a baby.
I've just seen. Thanks, Arthur, for your question. So, any recommendation? A good one. Any recommendations on websites, books to learn about Ayurveda?
Yeah, go to my website. That's one, vitalveda.com.au, and that's got a lot of articles. And also, the best book, I think, as an introduction is Perfect Health by Deepak Chopra. It's a really good introduction to Ayurveda. Very, good read. Deepak's a wonderful author and very simple. The only thing I'd say to be wary of is that dosha quiz. So they do a quiz to know your body type. That's okay, but people get too rigid and caught up about their body types. And also the quiz is not enough to assess it. So that otherwise it's a fantastic book. Really talks well about the daily routine.
Is it a practical?
Yeah, you can definitely. Yeah, and you can. It's a really good one. Those are some good starts.
Well, guys, if you have more questions, don't hesitate. Well, I'll ask you a question. What's the question people ask you most, or things that people wonder the most about when you tell them you're an Ayurvedic practitioner?
Right. I guess I don't know. They don't wonder about me personally much. People who come to me for many things, but common things are stress, and digestive issues, and energy. People aren't having energy because they lost the ability to tap into their own source of fuel and energy. They're relying on foods or sugars, quick injections of stimulants.
Do you use any caffeine or never?
I personally don't use much.
Yeah.
I'll occasionally have a chai. But otherwise, generally caffeine and coffee is not good. It depends on the person. So in Ayurveda, we kind of have body types.
Okay.
Maybe you've heard Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and it's depending on the elements. So Ayurveda says there's 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. And everyone has different levels of these. Every plant has different levels of these. Every object. So that's how we balance the health, the physiology, by bringing them in. And so it depends on the person. If they have a lot of earth, a lot of stability, maybe a bit of sluggishness, then caffeine is okay. But if they're too much air and space, too much airy-fairy, those people who think a lot, perhaps nervous, jittery, if they have caffeine or coffee, they're going to be more like that and more anxious. And then if people have too much fire, called the pitta, if they have too much acid, the coffee is going to increase the acid a lot. And generally, coffee is not. I don't recommend. Occasionally you can have if you're habituated, that is not good. If you're relying on it for bowel motions, that is not good. And if you really want to have it, fine. But have with the hot water. Drink hot water a lot to rehydrate, and have some herbs inside or some cardamom powder to reduce effects. There's worse. be doing.
Okay. I'm trying to get one only when I feel I need it.
Yeah. So you shouldn't use it for that.
Mm.
You shouldn't use it for energy.
Okay.
It should, if you want to have it, and a lot of people want it for the nourishment. They like it's actually the hot milk which they want, the nourishment quality of the hot milk.
Okay.
So rather have a hot milk, like a golden milk. It's now popular. Turmeric latte. Have a hot milk with some turmeric pepper and cardamom, cinnamon, whatever. But yeah, you shouldn't be using that, because if you're using that for energy, you're kind of borrowing energy which you don't have to pay back. You're getting energy from your adrenals, but you can't pay them back.
So is it like that lack of energy is a signal that I should kind of maybe respect? Or it's like maybe I have less energy, I should rest a bit.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely respect it, honor it, and don't see why. So it could be obvious you're stressed, or you're working too much, or as is some issue with the hormones, because that's related to all the hormones, like a web of hormones. So are you sleeping at the wrong times? Are you not up early? Because getting up early is going to give you that energy. Going to help the thyroid secrete hormones more properly, especially in women. Low thyroid, underactive thyroid is very common, which is giving them low energy. So the best thing to do that is to wake up with the sunrise, and the sunrise activates the pineal gland to secrete. If you've got a thyroid issue, look at the sunrise. Another thing you can do is sniff either medicated sesame oil or plain sesame oil, and that will also activate the pineal gland to secrete, pineal pituitary gland to secrete the hormones. So yeah, these are the one things. And yeah, that's another practice. Watch the sunrise. If you're depressed, or if someone's depressed, whatever it takes, get them to watch the sunrise. And if you stand up or do some stretches, your body chemistry creates something that you cannot be depressed. And that is the best thing to bring light into a depressed person. So definitely, and if you have low thyroid, depressed, just anything, go watch the sunrise more often. That's a beautiful practice. And if you can learn to do the sun salutation, which is a set of yoga asanas, yoga poses, that will be very good.
Okay. Guys, so if you have questions, just ask now. Otherwise, I'll have one last question, which is just something very particular on nutrition, but I was wondering, so I saw you were recommending ghee. What do you think of coconut oil? Because it's been a bit controversial at some point.
Controversial?
Yeah,
what have they said bad about?
The bad that it favored heart disease because it was like saturated fat.
That is a big that's a big thing, where in the 60s they said fat is bad and that it causes heart disease, but that's completely bullshit. We know that the FDA took it off the heart concern list, because we now know that fat is not bad for you.
I saw it just for saturated sometimes, like still in a recent study actually.
This is not good. Fat is good for you, the good fat. And as long as you're exercising and not eating a lot of carbs.
This good fat?
Yeah, that's good fat. But ghee is the best fat, as you asked. So ghee is clarified butter. All it is boiling butter, and it's a completely different product to butter. And it is, if you have a little fire, you put extra virgin organic coconut oil on that fire, or extra virgin organic olive oil on that fire, the fire will go out. If you put ghee on that fire, the fire roars. So same with the digestive fire. It enkindles your digestive fire and increases your metabolism. So it's going to help digest the food when you cook with it. It's also very high in ALA, lymphatic acid, which is good anti-cancer. It lubricates the intestines, the joints, the brain. We now have an epidemic of Alzheimer's and dementia. 50% of people watching this is going to get Alzheimer's at some point. Their brains deteriorate. This is, again, because a big reason is the EMF, the electromagnetic fields, is dehydrating our cells. So get the ghee. That's so important for old age and Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative diseases. And perhaps a very impressive thing about ghee is clarified butter. Butter has butyric acid. Butyric acid, that's what the name butter came from.
Mm-hmm.
And butyric acid is what our microbes in our gut live off.
Mm-hmm.
They feed butyric acid, and ghee is the high source of butyric acid in the world. So when we eat ghee, we're basically, that's what our microbes produce.
Okay.
So they love ghee, and we know, if you're a nutritionist, you should have studied that the microbiome is so important. We are mostly bugs. 98% of our DNA are bugs. Only 2% are human. And so we are mostly bugs, really. Most of our cells are microbiome. And we need to feed that and make the good bugs proliferate. And don't do things and protect your bugs. Because if you have electromagnetic fields coming in, that's going to confuse the bugs and turn them into pathogens. That's going to say, hold on, who's my friend? Who's my foe? And they're going to, so microbiome is so important, and ghee feeds your microbiome. Massage with the oil feeds the microbiome.
Kombucha?
Yeah, kombucha is good good, but you need to be careful, like with these fermented foods, because you don't want to excess, and people with excess acid, excess. These are very acidic things, so and heating. So. And at the right time, these fermented foods are not meant to be eaten in big quantities. They're condiments, and they're for winter. So adjust to the seasons more, and then everything will be in moderation and safe.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Dylan. I think we're good. So for the people, so you have that website vitalvida.com.au where you have information, and if people want to see you, what are the main treatments
I do so many treatments. I do consultations first of all. I do pulse, so I feel the pulse and get to know the body through that and diagnose. And then I prescribe a treatment plan, a diet, lifestyle, herbs, and then I also do many treatments, kind of massages, treatments for the spine, treatments for the eyes, treatments for the knees, back, neck, liver, organs, so many things. You can see all those on my website. And I've got a clinic in Bronte, and I also work 1 day a week in Bondi. And if you're in Sydney this weekend, I'm bringing my teacher here who's offering consultation. He's a master in pulse diagnosis, and he also gives a special treatment for females, and we're doing a knowledge session. Yeah, you can see all that.
Okay.
On my website.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll end the live. I hope you guys had a good time and learned a lot of things too, and have good tips to be more healthy from now on. See you guys.
See you.